Good day, family, and welcome to AHAYAH'S Word. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell to know when a new video has been uploaded. Today's topic, life choices, continuation. Life choices are one's decision of the free will that has been given to us by AHAYAH. One must choose wisely, but either way, there will be consequences of one's own making. Every choice a living being makes, large or small, will have an effect on other living beings. It could be a seemingly minuscule repercussion or one large enough to change everything. Regardless of the degree, all living beings are always affected by the choices of others. It's impossible to avoid. The choices we make always affect other living beings. At times, a choice may primarily affect the living being that makes it, but never exclusively. Every choice a living being makes, large or small, will have an effect on living beings, including one's descendants. Excuse me. AHAYAH'S life choice was, is, and always out of love, selfless, and He is just. He is the creator of heaven and earth and everything therein. He has laws, statutes, and judgments. Sacrifices, promises He always keeps us from evil while evil fears Him. Strengthens us. Chance to go home to everlasting life in His kingdom. Show how to love others and appreciate being loved. Is and tell the truth even if it hurts, because it's of our own good and we're the better for it. And so on and so forth. There's so much. There's so much more that AHAYAH has done and will continue to do, that it means a lot to everyone. Depends on whose side you're on. The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verses 13 to 24, the life choice of Adam and Eve and the serpent. When the serpent tricked Adam and Eve to disobey AHAYAH by eating from the forbidden tree of knowledge between good and evil, that affects us even till this day. All serpents are cursed. The serpent used to have legs and feet, as well as a voice. Now, there isn't any serpents or what we call snakes that walk. They hiss, always slithering on their bellies, and are one of the most untrustworthy creatures on the face of the earth. They are cursed above all animals of the earth forever. Enmity. That is a deep-seated mutual hatred towards two or more people. So when the Father said that He put enmity between thee and the woman, between thy seed and her seed, it just means we, who are the woman's seed, and others who they are the serpent seed, and they know who they are, there was always going to be enemy. Now, the seed of the woman, which is Yeshua, or should I say, Yeshaya, the nation of Yasharella as well. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. It should be translated as he. Yeshaya had gave Hasatan the death blow at the tree. That's right. When he hung on that tree, He gave him the death blow. Why? Because why? Bruising his head to bruise his heel, which means to supplant, which means He superseded him, replaced him. And what that means is, at one time, Hasatan used to be second in command to the Father. Not anymore. When Yeshaya hung on that tree, what did He do? Excuse me. He went from being just the Son. Now He sits on the right hand of the Father. He is second in command. He is the one that brings judgment because He knows the Father. He knows what the Father will accept and what He won't accept. He earned His spot, hands down. Remember how Yaquab took hold of Esau's heel But Esau was the firstborn, remember? What did Yaakov do? He was wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove when he took Esau's birthright and blessings. And as for us, another thing will happen. When we sweat, when we work. Why? Because that's one of the conditions. We will sweat from our brow. So don't be surprised when you're out there working hard that you sweat. It also means that when we don't work, we don't eat. From the dust we came, from the dust your body shall return. We all should understand that. We've been to enough. You only need to go to one funeral and realize when we lay someone to rest, we lay their physical body back in the ground which they came from. Realizing that they was naked, their nakedness. We are forever to never show ours. We are never to be naked unless you're taking a shower. We're not supposed to show our nakedness to family and friends. It's against the Father's law at all times. Excuse me. We like Ahayah, we know good and evil. If Adam wouldn't have taken from Eve when she took from the fruit of the tree of life, but asserted his headship, we would have an order of living forever. Or when he did and repented. But since Adam didn't, and Eve was casted out of the Garden of Eden, which was closed off and preserved, to work the ground they were taken to. And also, that is why when you read in Job chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where or who is he? That means every wicked thing from Hasatan on down is given into their hands. You read in Genesis chapter 5, verses 24 to 32, chapter 6, verses 1 to 22, and 7, chapter 1 to 13, Enoch, chapters 7, 8, and 9, chapter 10, verses 1 to 10, and Jubilees, you'll realize what's going on between Enoch, during the times of Enoch and Noah. In the days of Noah and Enoch ascended, when Enoch ascended into the heaven, the children of men had greatly multiplied the earth. The sons of Ahayah saw the daughters of men were fair. The sons of Ahayah took them daughters of men and begot giants, called Nephilim. Also the fallen angels taught the sons of men all sorts of things, even though knowing that Ahayah would never forgive them. The watchers were punished, and the giants were sent out to kill each other. The flood came and covered the whole earth. This is where you can read here in Genesis chapter 6, verse 4, Jubilees chapter 7, verses 21 and 22. And this is where you see how not only in that they kill the sons of men, the sons of men and each other, they was killing each other too. They was just going all out, slewing their own people as well as our people. Now, after the flood, this is where they divide the earth. Ahayah shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. In Jubilees chapter 8, the earth was divided into 3 parts for Shem and Ham and Japheth after the flood. Jubilees chapter 8, verses 29 and 30. This is the land which came forth for Japheth and his sons as the portion of his inheritance, which he should possess for himself and his sons for their generations forever. 5 great lands and a great land in the north. So just as you see on the screen here, this is where Japheth was, in the north. But it is cold. And the land of Ham is hot. It's always hot. And the land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but it is a blended hot, cold, and heat, which he has something which you call a little bit of Japheth and Ham. So it was like neither one or the other. It has like a mixture. In Jubilees chapter 10, unclean demons began to lead the sons of Noah astray. That means after they got their land, and them and their families had begun to increase on the earth. In the third week of Jubilee, unclean demons began to lead astray the children of the sons of Noah, and to err and destroy them. The sons of Noah came to Noah, their father, and told them concerning the demons which were leading them astray and blinding and slaying their sons' sons. Wow. And you know how your watchers, the fathers of these spirits, acted in my day. And as for these spirits which are living, imprison them and hold them fast in the place of condemnation, and let them not bring destruction on the sons of your servant, my sovereign ruler, for these are malignant, and created in order to destroy. And let them not rule over the spirits of the living, for you alone can exercise dominion over them. Let them not have power over the sons of the righteous from henceforth forevermore. And Ahayah, our sovereign ruler, bade us to bind all. And the chief of the spirits, Mestra, yes, right, that's a fallen, came and said to Ahayah, Creator, and let some of them remain before me, and let them listen to my voice, and do all that I may say unto them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men. For these are for corruption and leading astray before my judgment. For great is the wickedness of sons of men. And he said, let the 10th part of them remain before him, and let 9 parts descend into the place of condemnation. And one of us he commanded that we should teach Noah all their medicines, for he knew that they would not walk in uprightness, nor strive in righteousness. In other words, he knew they was going to just stray from the Most High, because all 3 sons knew of the word of the Most High. Okay, so this is why you see when the father take a particular people out of the 3 sons, the rest of them are considered what? Gentiles. Mastema. I don't even know how to pronounce this name, but I know he is an angel who persecuted evil in the book of Jubilees. He carries out punishment for Ahayah, as well as tempting humans and testing their faith. Okay? In the Zadokite fragments and the Dead Sea Scroll, he is an angel of disaster, the father of all evil, and a flatterer of Ahayah. He is said to have become a fallen angel. He first appears in the literature of the Second Temple period as a personification of the Hebrew word mesma, meaning hatred, hostility, enmity, or persecution. You never know. Maybe that's Satan. See? Something to think about. So were there fallen descendants after the flood? Yes. The fallen were and are determined to have offspring inhabit the earth. Life choice. Og, the king of Bashan. In Deuteronomy chapter 3, verse 11. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, he bedstead was a bedstead of iron. It is not of Ramoth, of the children of Ammon. 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth thereof. After a cubit of man, while we are not given his height or length of his bed was longer than Goliath's height by 3 cubits. Oh my goodness. Now here's the second one, Goliath. We all know about Goliath, the David and Goliath story, because he is the most famous giant recorded in history, partly because of the engaging, inspiring story of him boasting and blaspheming against Ahayah for days, and a young boy, David, who believes Ahayah can do all things, steps up and kills him with a stone and sling, while King Saul and his army were trembling at their boots due to Goliath. How tall was Goliath? 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 4 says, And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 22. These four were born of giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants. So there was like four of them. So, I know he had sons, as you see here, in Numbers 3, 4, 5, all the way to 11. These was giants. Some were the sons of Goliath. So there was giants in those days. And here's another little information. This is how you know that dark-skinned people was the one that truly was supposed to run this earth. Europeans were dark-skinned until 8,000 years ago. Pale complexion was brought to Europe from Near East, study claims. The original migrants to Europe from Africa arrived 40,000 years ago. Up until 8,000 years ago, early hunter-gatherers largely had darker skin. When Near East farmers arrived, they carried with them light-skinned genes. Genomes of 83 people found 5 genes linked with diet and skin changes. In other words, these melanated people, we was here on the earth, including Europe, long before the others, the Caucasians. Genetic analysis has shown that hunter-gatherers living in Spain up to 8,500 years ago still had dark skin. That's another place. This graphic above shows the influx of genes to Europe that brought light skin color and taller body shapes, according to the new research on ancient human remains conducted by geneticists at Harvard University. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend in heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Ahayah. I will sit also up upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. So now you know where Hasatan was sitting his behind at. So apparently he must have started in the north, started with Yetheth. This is why everybody think that Queen Elizabeth and all those people who came before are the original Europeans. They are not. They all was gathered as serpent seeds over in the Caucasus Mountains, hence the word Caucasian. The Caucasus Mountain was a mountain system in the intersection of Europe and Asia, stretching between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. I hope I said it right. If I didn't, forgive me. It is surrounded by the Caucasus region and the home of Mount Elbrus and at the highest peak in Europe at 5,642 meters, which is like 18,510 feet above sea level. Okay? So as you see on the map between the Black Sea and Caspian Sea, this is where the Caucasus Mountain is. So no Caucasian was ever first in Europe. They invaded Europe, just like in Asia, just like in India and anywhere else. This is what the original Romans, Greeks, and so forth, Asians, this is what they look like. This is what these people originally look like. These are the original Europeans. This is who replaced them. That's why people think these are the original people. They are not. Life choices. The serpent seed replaces the nation's face of our indigenous melanin people, the Hamites, the Shemites, and the Yephites. They took our people to reproduce while taking the identity of the enslaved chosen ones of Ahayah, due to our disobedience and the disobedience of our forefathers. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High, thy Ahayah, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statute which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. He was not joking about it. This is why you read all the curses, continue reading from verses 16 to 68. They go, oh, we've been enslaved. I know everybody been enslaved, but the Father was very specific on how his people was going to be enslaved and how long. And I don't care how you can say similar, nobody has been enslaved longer than his people due to our disobedience. So don't try it. Now, when they are killing us, their nation had been diminishing. Why? Let's read even Proverbs chapter 6, verse 30 to 31. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Let's take that for one moment. The people that's been killing the chosen people, they're thieves. That's how they got the land. That's how America became theirs. What they do? They steal, kill, and destroy. When they steal, they just took the land. They just didn't take the land. They also took life. When you take a life from the Most High, you didn't just take it from their family and friends that grieved over them. Oh, no. You took from the Most High. Okay? Because you was hunger for killing. Every time you felt a hunger to kill, you killed. But if he be found, okay, we may not see when you did it, but the Father sees everything. He shall restore sevenfold. That's why for every one, 70 are dying. He shall give all his substance of his house. The Father makes sure you lose everything. Everything. So you just don't lose 7 people from the nation. You also lose from substance from your house. Is it possibly that's why people doing civil suits and you losing money from your own house? Anything is possible. Now, let's read in Romans 12, chapter 12, verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, do not take upon yourself to do anything to get justice unless it's left up to the Most High. Let him do it. Why? For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Most High. Let him venge for you. Let him give you the substance of their house. Let him do what is about his business. That's his job. He said, you don't take it upon yourselves. You need to work on your own salvation with fear and trembling. Let him do what he's going to do for you. This is why they do what their father has done. They are who their father is. And Ahayah has been there for us. Let me continue. Wow, oh my goodness. Sorry. Now, when you read in Psalms 106, it says, remember me, O Most High, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation, that I may see the good of thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thyself, in thy nation, that I may glory with thy inheritance. We have sinned with our fathers. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly. Our father understood not thy wonders in Egypt. They remember not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoke him at the sea, even at the Red Sea. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known. He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. So he led them through the depths as through the wilderness, and he saved them from the hand of him that hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. This is why we was in bondage all this time. We forget that it was the things that he done in those days. It should inspire us that the Father was there for our people. Our forefathers, he will be there for us. And this is why we in trouble now. We forget that he's there for us. We need to call upon him. And we need to remember that. and stop being ungrateful. Jeremiah chapter 16, verses 19 to 21. O Ahayah, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know that I will cause them to know my hand and my might. And they shall know that my name is the Most High. John chapter 16, verse 13. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whosoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of Ahayah, because many false prophets are going out into the world. So, instead of saying, oh, my pastor say this, why don't you ask the Father, Father, is this true? This is why a lot of us are still getting killed, because we refuse to do this. 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. We need to do that. So how should our life choice start? When you sense situations about your life doesn't make sense or out of control. First, pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. I can't say that enough. That is why I said, when you look in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14, read, not just verse 14, read in its entirety. Let yourself understand and ask the Father when you don't understand, what does it mean? So he can tell you, what does he mean? Okay? 2, you don't trust everybody that says anything out their mouth. You let them prove themselves. And this is why I said in 1 John chapter 4, verse 1, and I got over to verse 8 here. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they are of Ahayah, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. There's so many of them, it's ridiculous. Continue. Hereby know ye the spirit of Ahayah. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua HaMashiach is come into the flesh of Ahayah, is of Ahayah. Every spirit that confesses not that Yeshua HaMashiach is come into the flesh is not of Ahayah, and this is that the spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. Ye are of Ahayah, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world, therefore speak of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of Ahayah. He that knoweth Ahayah heareth us. He that is not of Ahayah heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Beloved, let us love one another. For love is of Ahayah, and everyone that loveth is born of Ahayah, and knoweth Ahayah. He that loveth not knoweth that Ahayah. He that loveth not knoweth not Ahayah. For Ahayah is love. In other words, if you're not of love, then you will never know Ahayah. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. In other words, when you hear the Father speak to you of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, don't forget it. Make sure you never do. Here's some recommendations I have put here. Feel free to stop the video at any time to look at it, to, let the Spirit, let the Rawchaa Qadash or the Holy Spirit lead you to any one of them or any other of them that's telling you the truth. Anything I have, any helpful information, I'll leave it in the description box for you. And like I said before, pray without ceasing. That simply means don't stop praying. When all heck breaks loose, when everything is going wrong, whether it's in your particular life or whether the whole world just start going crazy, don't stop praying. Don't stop. Keep praying. Let the Father know, Father, what am I supposed to do? I need to get out of here. What do you want me to do? Believe on Him. Even in your darkest hour, believe on Him. My brothers and sisters, I can't say it enough, as well as the strangers. I love you, but most importantly, AHAYAH loves you. Even if it seems nobody in this world does, and people leave you left and right, because everybody's for self. So many people are for self. Don't forget, AHAYAH hasn't forgotten you. And like I said, subscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notification bell to know when a new video has been uploaded. And like I said, family, shalom, love, peace.